that I believe, and you might disagree, Tom, they won the offseason. The Los Angeles Dodgers, they signed everybody. Matter of fact, Tom and I might be signed by the Dodgers by the end of the show. Yamamoto's on the bump. We're expecting a fully healthy season from him. The news just the other day, Clayton Kershaw agreeing to terms with the squad. Sasaki, to bring him into the mix. Roki Sasaki slated as the number 3 starter right now. This is just an incredible wealth of riches, Tom, to have this much money invested in a team that just won the World Series.
Yeah, it's amazing. The talent in that camp. I have to go back to the 99 Yankees to think of a team, to me, that's this clearly in front of every other team in baseball. We still have a lot of parity in the game. A lot of people still have hope and prayers of getting to the World Series. But this is the team to beat, no question about it. Start with the starting pitching, because they can beat you with so many guys with number 1 stuff. The lineup, we know, is incredibly deep. What really stands out to me, Greg, look at that top with Ohtani, Betts, and Freeman. These guys are not satisfied with winning the World Series this year. I don't detect any of that from this group. They are still hungry, still professional. They still grind at you besides being super talented. But that starting rotation is unlike anything I can remember in recent years. Dave Roberts just has so many options. And again, we're talking about guys who are legitimate number 1s, 4 or 5 of those guys who could easily start game 1 of a playoff series.
The news coming out of this camp, well, you see all these amazing pitching options. Evan Phillips, who for a time was the closer of the Dodgers, Michael Kopech, who they acquired from the White Sox, looked tremendous. They're behind schedule, according to Bob Nightingale. Therefore, they're likely to start the year on the injured list. That's not a big deal to the Dodgers. Those 2 arms, if they were going to start the year a bit late, due to maybe, not being completely healthy, that would be headline panic, possibly, for most organizations. But when you show us the wealth of depth that the Dodgers have on the mound, we could see injuries come for them numerous times throughout the year, but they'll still be the heavy favorite to win that division.
No doubt. Tanner Scott, to me, best stuff to be the closer there, I think. But Kirby Yates, great season last year, could easily close. Kopech, when he's healthy with his fastball. Phillips has done it. So many options for Dave Roberts. Think about this. Last year, the Dodgers won the World Series. They used 60 players. You need to build in redundancy in the course of a long season. They've got more of that than anybody.
I mean, Dustin May, Tony Gonsolin, we forgot those guys were still in the organization. We're hoping to chat with Blake Snell as we go forward here on our spring training storyline. So if the Dodgers won the offseason, who finished second in the offseason in the National League, you think?
It's got to be the New York Mets.
Okay, good.
It has to be.
Good. And as much as we love Edwin Diaz, it's not because of Edwin Diaz. They already had him. It's because of the $765 million deal they gave to Juan Soto. Now, they also had some interesting moves. Frankie Montas in the rotation. Blake Holmes, who's been a reliever for the past few years. Sean Manaea, they bring him back. Pete Alonso's still in a Mets uniform. Would you agree that this New York Mets team is ready to take down the powerful Phillies and Braves in the NL East?
I'm not ready to say that quite yet, but they certainly have a puncher's chance. They may go out and get another pitcher before we, even get to opening day. We'll talk about that later, but it all starts with Juan Soto, right? You add a guy to me, he's the surest thing in baseball. He's the best investment because the return on investment is predictable. In his worst season, he's like a 140 OPS plus guy. Just so reliable because he controls the strike zone so well. Have him bat behind Francisco Lindor, who just transformed when he hit leadoff last year. Now Pete Alonso back behind him. Love the top of that lineup. But you brought up a couple of interesting names. Frankie Montas, who threw the ball great at the end of last year.
He did.
And then Holmes, who could be this year's Seth Lugo. Can we go there?
I like that.
Yeah, the transition now into the rotation. Really has the stuff to do it. He could be a breakout guy for the Mets.
Juan Soto was the marquee free agent signing of the offseason. The biggest trade in the National League, that went to the Chicago Cubs. Kyle Tucker was playing like an MVP candidate when he was sent over to the north side of Chicago from the Houston Astros. Another year of Imanaga, who was 15-3, an amazing first year in the big leagues. Healthy Justin Steele, better back end of the bullpen, acquiring Ryan Presley. Where do you sit on the way you view the Chicago Cubs?
Yeah, it's Kyle Tucker changes the whole dynamic for me because I liked the Cubs team last year. Athleticism, defense, put the ball in play, ground ball pitching staff, but they lacked that, Dad likes to call it, aircraft carrier, right? They got one in Kyle Tucker.
They did.
He is a force at the plate. And how about the defensive outfield the Cubs have now? Ian Happ in left, Pete Crow Armstrong in center, Kyle Tucker and Wright. I'm sorry, that's as good as there is defensively in Major League Baseball.
I agree with you. It'll be interesting to see, because this is the last year of Jed Hoyer's contract, if this is a team that's going to really press the gas pedal, and if they need to get moves in the season, acquire even more talent to try to get over the hump in the NL Central. The Arizona Diamondbacks, the starting rotation was already solid before. You go sign Corbin Burns, and Burns with Gallen, Kelly, you got Montgomery as your 5-starter with Brandon Pfaadt slotted in as your number 4 starter. The Arizona Diamondbacks in a bandbox like Chase Field. You got to like the talent they have on the mound.
Love it. Now, listen, they did not pitch well last year. They scored the most runs of any team in baseball. Offense, no problem. But now you look at that rotation, and the depth of it really stands out to me. Burns is, as Juan Soto is offensively, Burns is to me on the mound. Last 4 years, who's been more durable and reliable than Corbin Burns? Zach Gallen. Don't sleep on Brandon Pfaadt, too. I think this is a breakout year coming up. He threw 180 innings last year, high strikeout rate. I think he's going to prosper now, slotting, 3 or 4 in that rotation there. Diamondbacks, I'm not saying they're the LA Dodgers, but they're in the picture, definitely, for the playoffs.
They might miss Christian Walker, because I know it's take away just the great Gold Glove at first base and the power in the middle of the plate. They got Josh Naylor, who I think can do all that stuff. He really was a respected figure in that clubhouse.
Great glove at first base. They'll miss that. But the pop from Josh Naylor is there, I'm telling you.
So the Arizona Diamondbacks loaded for bear, but they're not alone. Obviously, we already talked about the Dodgers. We haven't talked about the Padres yet. Can we talk about the San Francisco Giants before we go to break? Buster Posey, leading that front office, brings in Willie Adames on a $182 million deal to be his shortstop. Tyler Fitzgerald moves over his second. And Justin Verlander gets a 1-year deal to pitch in San Francisco. Does this change the way you view the Giants?
Yes, because I'm going to use that word you used for Buster, leadership, with Verlander and Willie Adames. Adames plays every day, loves to play, always a smile on his face. He's a teammate's favorite teammate all the time wherever he goes. That's going to be huge for the Giants. And Verlander, who works harder than Justin Verlander. There's a lot more left in that tank as long as he's healthy. I love those. Buster Posey's getting the right guys in there in San Francisco.
Well, Buster Posey remembers when he played in San Francisco. Their lineup wasn't murderer's row. They weren't setting records by scoring runs. They were built on great starting pitching. And when you look what he has right now, Logan Webb, Robbie Ray, Justin Verlander, Jordan Hicks, there's a chance he could be replicating the magic of those Bochy years.
And he knows that's the way you build a winning team in that ballpark, right? It's hard to build a purely offensive first team out there in San Francisco. He's got the right pieces there. And the innings they'll get from their starting pitching, I think, sets them apart from a lot of teams.
Okay, so we know the Dodgers are the favorite in the West. Who's the second best team in the West, in your opinion? Diamondbacks, Padres, Giants, who you going with?
Flip of a coin, but I'll go Arizona right now on paper.
Really?
I'm going Arizona, yeah.
Max Muncy considering a return to Texas? Dodgers star requests trade. Hey, Dodgers fans. This is Victor from latest Los Angeles Dodgers news, bringing you a major story that could impact the future of our team. Max Muncy requests trade to Texas? According to the Dallas Morning News, Dodgers infielder Max Muncy has informed the front office, including Andrew Friedman, Brandon Gomez, and manager Dave Roberts, that he is considering a move back to his home state of Texas. Muncy, who lived in Texas for 25 years, is reportedly feeling homesick and wants to be closer to his parents, relatives, and friends. As a result, he has requested a possible trade to either the Houston Astros or the Texas Rangers, with a preference for the Rangers due to their proximity to his hometown of Midland. Muncy's performance in the 2024 season. So far in 2024, Muncy has played 73 games, posting a .232 batting average with 15 home runs and 48 RBIs. Despite missing some time due to an oblique injury, he made a strong return in August, hitting a 2-run homer against the Mariners on August 19th. Additionally, Muncy made history in the postseason, reaching base in 12 consecutive plate appearances, proving his value when it matters most. SeattlePie.com. Why losing Muncy would hurt the Dodgers? If Muncy leaves, it would be a huge blow to the Dodgers. Since joining the team in 2018, he has been a key piece in the lineup, bringing power, consistency, and defensive versatility. His leadership in the clubhouse also makes him a vital presence for younger players. Dodgers front office reacts. The Dodgers front office is currently in discussions with Muncy, trying to understand his position and convince him to stay. The organization is emphasizing his strong connection to the team and the love he receives from fans in Los Angeles. The Muncy dilemma: career versus personal life. Muncy is facing a tough decision. While Los Angeles has been the home of his greatest career achievements, including 2 All-Star appearances, 2019, 2021, and 2 World Series titles, 2020, 2024, the pull of home and family is strong. His hometown of Midland, Texas, is far from Los Angeles, making it difficult for him to maintain close ties with loved ones. Moving to the Rangers will allow him to be much closer to home while still playing for a competitive team. What's next for the Dodgers? If Muncy does leave, the Dodgers will need to find a replacement. That could mean promoting a young prospect, signing a free agent, or making another trade. No matter what, the goal remains the same: keeping the team competitive and strong. A message to Dodgers fans. We know this is tough news for many Dodgers fans. Muncy isn't just a great player, he's a fan favorite and a key part of this team's success. But no matter what happens, we need to support both him and the organization through this transition. What do you think about Muncy's potential move? Should the Dodgers try to keep him, or is it time to let him go? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Stay tuned for updates, and as always, go Dodgers!